Well, this is the view those astronauts left behind. Earth as seen from the ISS. The space station is bigger than a 6-person house, and on board there's sleeping quarters, 2 bathrooms, and a gym.
But nothing really beats what astronauts see out the window. There's been a continuous human presence at the space station since Expedition 1 arrived in the year 2000.
Now astronauts are preparing for Expedition 73. We have one of those astronauts with us now, Jonny Kim, who is in Star City, Russia, ahead of the journey aboard the Soyuz spacecraft. Jonny, thank you so much for joining us, which is now evening time here in Star City, Russia. Your launch is set for April 8th, just under 3 weeks from now. How are you going to spend those next 20 days?
Hi, Molly and Alex. So we are wrapping up final training and preparations here in Star City. In a couple of days, we'll be flying to Baikonur and entering quarantine. And that's to ensure all astronauts and cosmonauts go to the space station without bringing any kind of germs. And so after that, once we get in Baikonur, it's going to start getting real. We're going to start looking at our space vehicle, actually getting to inspect the contents. And we're all looking forward to it.
And you mentioned wrapping up training. How long have you been training for this mission?
Well, for me, it's been about a year and a half, which is pretty average for most astronauts before they're assigned to an expedition.
And once you're in orbit, what is it that you're going to be studying there?
Everything from material science to climate change to our cells. The human body is one of the most, it is probably the most instrumental part of human spaceflight. And so there is a very interesting experiment that I'm going to be a part of called CIPHER. And it stands for the Complement of Integrated Protocols for Human Exploration Research. And now this research project was born from a previous study on the human body and the effects that long-duration spaceflight can have. And so what we at NASA, in collaboration with our international partners, is hoping to find out what exactly happens to the human body from these various timeframes so that when we start venturing out further to the moon, Mars, and beyond, and when we're in space for long durations, how our bodies respond and what we can do to ensure that we're optimized for success.
Now, having said that, how long are you expecting to be up there?
My mission will be 8 months, but as always at NASA, we adapt to the unknown, and so we'll be ready for anything.
The view from the International Space Station and from orbit is like no other. Is there any sort of weather on Earth that you're hoping to see from that vantage point? That's a truly once-in-a-lifetime experience.
I think Mother Nature is one of the most awe-inspiring and frightening things. And the more we can do as astronauts to share some of that with our loved ones and people living on Earth, I think the better. And so I don't think I have a favorite, but I'm looking forward to trying to capture some of that beauty and share it with everyone.
We certainly can't wait to see it for sure. Now, this is your first trip to space, so give us a sense. How are you feeling right now, so close to it?
To be honest, it's not real yet for me. And I think a lot of that happens to do with the training we get. We as astronauts and operators are really good at compartmentalizing. And what that means is, especially during stressful times, is being able to lock away those emotions and put them in a room in your brain and deal with it when you need to. And I think this is something that parallels a lot of the other disciplines that can potentially have stressful environments. And so for me, it doesn't quite feel real yet. But I think as we get to Baikonur and we start inspecting our space vehicle, it's going to become very real.
Well, Jonny Kim, thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck to you here as you wrap training up and also head out into outer space. Fun time.